Nihilism is a philosophical doctrine that has intrigued thinkers throughout history, but is often misunderstood and misrepresented. At its core, nihilism is more complex than a belief in nothing. It is a nuanced worldview that challenges conventional notions of meaning, purpose, and existence. This video will explore the origins of nihilism, its fundamental tenets, and its implications for individuals and society. Nihilism comes from the Latin word nihil, which means nothing. Although nihilism has been associated with various philosophical movements and schools of thought, its roots can be traced back to the existentialist writings of Friedrich Nietzsche in the 19th century. Nietzsche famously declared that God is dead and argued that traditional religious and moral values no longer held sway in a world devoid of transcendent meaning. This rejection of conventional morality and metaphysical beliefs laid the groundwork for nihilism as a philosophical position. Nihilism is a philosophical belief that asserts the absence of inherent value and meaning in life. This outlook often leads to extreme pessimism and radical skepticism, which refutes the possibility of knowing or communicating anything. A true nihilist would reject all beliefs and values and would have no loyalties to any ideology or purpose except maybe a desire to cause destruction. A genuine nihilist would believe in nothing, have no commitments, and have no objective except an impulse to destroy. Though hardly any philosophers would claim to be nihilists, Friedrich Nietzsche is most commonly associated with nihilism. He contended that its corrosive influence would ultimately destroy all ethical, religious, and metaphysical convictions and bring about the greatest crisis in human history. In the 20th century, nihilistic themes such as epistemological failure, value destruction, and cosmic purposelessness have preoccupied artists, social critics, and philosophers. One of the central tenets of nihilism is the rejection of absolute truth or objective reality. Nihilists argue that all claims to knowledge are ultimately subjective and contingent upon individual perspectives and interpretations. From this perspective, there is no ultimate truth or objective reality beyond human perception, and all attempts to discover such truths are ultimately futile. Nihilism is a philosophy that challenges traditional moral and ethical frameworks by denying the existence of objective standards of right and wrong. Nihilists believe that moral values are human constructs that lack inherent validity or authority. This view questions the validity of ethical principles and moral judgments, leading to skepticism toward conventional ideas of good and evil. Nihilism is a philosophy that argues that life has no inherent meaning or purpose. If there is no God, heaven or hell, and no absolute authority, then there is no higher calling or objective in life. This philosophy is characterized by pessimism and skepticism, which has sometimes led to violent and extremist acts. Nihilism is a philosophical doctrine that asserts that our existence is not intrinsically meaningful. It denies some fundamental aspects of human life, such as objective truth, moral truth, and the worth and significance of human life. The branches of nihilism include existential, moral, epistemological, political, metaphysical, and medical nihilism. However, peaceful figures such as Max Stirner, a German philosopher, believed this change was necessary for personal evolution, freeing individuals from the constraints imposed by controlling systems of authority. Søren Kierkegaard, a profoundly religious Danish theologian, argued that even in the face of nihilism, we could still believe in the paradoxical infinite or blind faith. On the other hand, he believed that we should embrace the fear and uncertainty of the unknown to find a new higher calling. Although often associated with despair and hopelessness, some philosophers argue that nihilism can be liberating and empowering. By rejecting external authorities and transcendent values, nihilism frees individuals to create their meaning and purpose in life. Individuals are encouraged to embrace their autonomy and agency without preconceived notions of meaning, leading to a sense of freedom and self-determination. However, nihilism can also pose significant dangers when taken to its extreme manifestations. The rejection of all values and beliefs can lead to moral relativism, ethical nihilism, and social disintegration without a shared moral framework or ethical standards. Society risks descending into chaos and lawlessness as individuals pursue their self-interest without regard for the well-being of others. Nihilism can make people feel hopeless and anxious as they face life's meaningless and absurd nature. When one lacks a sense of purpose or direction, finding significance in one's existence can be challenging, causing one to feel disconnected, alone, and hopeless. Nihilism is a term for the belief that life is meaningless, and that human principles and social institutions are arbitrary. It is often associated with despair and hopelessness. Specific historical periods have been described as nihilistic, such as postmodernity, characterized by a nihilistic mode of thought. Some theologians and religious figures have also stated that modernity and postmodernity represent nihilism by negating religious principles. It is important to note that nihilism has been ascribed to both spiritual and irreligious viewpoints. Nihilism can take on different forms. Ethical or moral nihilism rejects ethical or moral values. It claims that the distinction between good and evil is unclear, and that values are only the result of social and emotional pressures. Existential nihilism, on the other hand, asserts that life has no inherent meaning or purpose. Political nihilism advocates eradicating all existing political, social, and religious institutions as a prerequisite for future progress in society. Today, nihilism plays a significant role in contemporary culture, politics, and philosophy. From the existentialist writings of Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus to the postmodern critiques of Michel Foucault and Jacques Derrida, the nihilistic perspective is deeply ingrained in modern thought and discourse. In popular culture, nihilism is often portrayed as a rebellious and unruly philosophy, celebrated by anti-heroes and outcasts who reject societal norms and conventions. Passive and active nihilism can lead to problems in their ways. Passive nihilism refers to the cosmic nihilism that writers like Kurt Vonnegut and shows like Rick and Morty portray, where there is no specific goal or purpose in life. Passive nihilists don't necessarily want destruction, but struggle to argue against nihilism. While passive nihilism may seem less destructive and can even provide comfort in acknowledging the darker aspects of life, it can hinder personal growth and development. Despite its grim outlook and radical implications, nihilism remains a lively and profound philosophical tradition that challenges individuals to confront the fundamental questions of existence. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.